Let's dive into the fascinating world of credit card rewards, a system that might seem like free money, but there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. Each year, about $15.1 billion in rewards gets handed out, but it's not just a simple giveaway. These perks actually shift money around the country in ways most people never notice. So how does this quiet redistribution work, and who really benefits? Let's break it down and see what's really happening every time you swipe your card. Credit card rewards started out as basic perks. Think cash back or airline miles, just a little thank you for using your card. But over time, these rewards exploded into a huge part of how Americans spend and save. Today, people plan vacations, big purchases, and even everyday shopping around maximizing points and benefits. It's not just about loyalty anymore. It's become a game, with credit card companies competing to offer the flashiest deals. For many, racking up rewards is almost as important as the stuff they're actually buying. Let's break down rewards cards in simple terms. These are credit cards that give you something back every time you spend, like points, miles, or straight-up cashback. Points can usually be traded for things like gift cards or travel, while miles are mostly for flights. Cashback is just what it sounds like. A percentage of your purchase comes right back to you. But why do banks offer these perks? It's pretty simple. They want you to use their card, so they give you a little incentive, hoping you'll swipe more often and maybe even carry a balance, which earns them money and interest. Let's dive into what the Federal Reserve just uncovered about credit card rewards. Right now, there are a jaw-dropping 238 million rewards cards in circulation across the U.S. That's almost one for every adult. The Fed's research breaks down how these rewards actually work, from cashback to travel points, and why banks are so eager to offer them. It's not just about free perks. These systems are carefully designed to encourage spending and keep customers loyal. Understanding the mechanics behind these rewards helps explain why they've become such a massive part of everyday banking. Did you know that these days, about 90% of all credit card spending happens on rewards cards? That means most people are swiping their cards not just to pay, but to rack up points, miles, or cash back. For banks, this is big business. They attract customers with flashy perks, but make money from interest and fees. Merchants, on the other hand, end up paying higher processing fees to cover those rewards, which can lead to higher prices for everyone. And for shoppers, while rewards can feel like free money, the real cost might be hiding in the price tags at your favorite stores. Let's talk about a sneaky fee that most people never notice. Interchange fees. Whenever you swipe your card at a store, the merchant pays a small fee to the bank. But here's the catch. Businesses don't just absorb that cost. Instead, they build it into the price of everything they sell. So whether you pay with cash or card, you're still covering those fees, even if you never use a card yourself. Ever wonder who actually foots the bill for those flashy credit card rewards? It turns out the perks that wealthy cardholders enjoy, like cash back, travel points, and exclusive access, aren't just handed out for free. When stores pay fees to credit card companies, they often raise prices for everyone to cover the cost. But here's the catch. Lower-income shoppers, who might not even use rewards cards, end up paying higher prices without getting any of the benefits. So, in a twist, everyday folks are often the ones subsidizing those first-class upgrades and bonus points. Let's unpack that $15.1 billion annual redistribution. On the surface, it might look like a simple case of taking from one group and giving to another, but the reality is way messier. Some regions or industries end up as big winners, getting more funding or support, while others might contribute more than they receive. The reasons behind these shifts aren't always obvious. They can depend on political decisions, economic needs, or even historical agreements. So, when you hear about redistribution, remember, it's not just about the numbers, but also about the complex web of interests and policies shaping who really benefits. Ever wonder why rewards cards seem so tempting? It's not just about the points or cashback. They're designed to make spending feel like a win. Each time you swipe, you get a little hit of excitement thinking about the perks you'll rack up. But here's the catch. These small rewards can nudge people to spend more than they planned, and sometimes that extra spending turns into debt that's tough to shake off. It's a clever system that makes shopping feel like a game, but the real winners are often the card companies. Let's talk about rewards optimizers, the folks who turn credit card points and loyalty programs into a side hustle. These savvy users know all the tricks, from stacking bonuses to timing purchases just right, squeezing every last drop of value from the system. But here's the catch. For most people, chasing rewards doesn't actually pay off. Between confusing rules, annual fees, and the temptation to overspend, the average person usually ends up breaking even or even losing money. So while the system can be gamed, it's not as easy as it looks. Let's talk about the debt trap and how it can sneak up on you. Credit card companies love to tempt us with points, cashback, and all sorts of flashy rewards. But here's the catch. If you don't pay off your balance each month, those perks can quickly get wiped out by high interest rates. Before you know it, chasing rewards can turn into a cycle of debt, leaving you with a growing balance and a lot of financial stress. It's a common pitfall that catches millions of Americans off guard every year. Ever wonder why credit card rewards feel so tempting? It's not just luck. Credit card companies use tons of data and a bit of behavioral science to keep us swiping. They track what we buy, when we buy it, and even how we react to different types of rewards. By offering points, cashback, or travel perks right when we're most likely to spend, they nudge us to make extra purchases we might not have planned. It's all designed to make spending feel like winning, even if it means a bigger bill at the end of the month. Ever wonder why your favorite store always accepts those fancy rewards credit cards, even though they come with hefty fees? Merchants often feel stuck. They risk losing customers if they say no, but every swipe eats into their profits. These extra costs don't just disappear. They usually get baked into the prices we all pay, whether we use a card or not. So, in a way, everyone ends up helping to cover the cost of those reward points. It's a tricky balancing act that affects shoppers and businesses alike. Ever wondered how banks, payment networks, and airlines actually make money from those flashy rewards programs? It's not just about giving you free flights or cash back. Banks earn fees from merchants every time you swipe your card, while payment networks like Visa and MasterCard take a small cut from each transaction. Airlines partner with banks to sell miles, turning points into a serious revenue stream. In the end, the rewards ecosystem is a win-win for these companies. They keep you spending, and they pocket the profits behind the scenes. Let's talk about inequality and how the way rewards are handed out can make the gap between rich and poor even wider. In many cases, higher-income Americans have access to better bonuses, perks, and investment opportunities, which help their wealth grow faster. Meanwhile, lower-income folks often miss out on these advantages, making it harder for them to catch up. This isn't just about salaries. It's about who gets the extra benefits that really add up over time. The result? The wealth gap keeps getting bigger, making it tougher for everyone to get ahead. Let's take a quick trip around the globe to see how the U.S. rewards system compares to other countries. In America, bonuses, stock options, and performance-based pay are a huge part of how people get compensated, especially at the top. In places like Europe or Japan, rewards tend to be smaller and more evenly spread out, with a bigger focus on job security and benefits instead of big cash payouts. So why is the U.S. system so much bigger? It's all about the culture of competition, the drive for innovation, and the belief that bigger rewards motivate people to work harder and take more risks. Lately, rewards cards have caught the eye of regulators like the Federal Reserve. They're starting to wonder if these flashy perks are really fair for everyone, or if they just make things harder for certain groups. Some experts worry that the costs of these rewards get passed on to people who don't even use the cards, through higher prices or fees. Plus, there are questions about whether the whole system is sustainable in the long run. So, the big question is, are rewards cards really a win for all or just for a lucky few? So, what's actually being suggested to shake up the current rewards model? Some proposals aim to tweak how rewards are distributed, making things fairer for smaller players. Others go much further, suggesting the reward system could be scrapped altogether and replaced with something totally new. There's talk about introducing performance-based incentives or even shifting to a subscription-style setup. Each idea has its pros and cons, and depending on which direction is chosen, the way people participate could change dramatically. Banks and credit card companies aren't just sitting back when it comes to protecting those flashy rewards programs. They're actively lobbying lawmakers to keep things just the way they are. Why? Because rewards points and cashback offers aren't just perks for customers. They're big business for the companies behind them. If regulations change, it could mean fewer incentives for you, but also a hit to the profits these companies make from swipe fees and interest. So, when you hear about debates over credit card rules, remember, it's not just about your next free flight, it's about billions of dollars on the line for the financial industry. So, what happens if regulators decide to crack down on interchange fees or even scrap rewards programs altogether? Well, first off, banks and credit card companies might lose a big chunk of their revenue since those fees help fund all those flashy points and cashback offers. Without that money coming in, you could see fewer perks, higher card fees, or even stricter approval requirements. For shoppers, it might mean saying goodbye to those free flights or discounts at your favorite stores. And for small businesses, lower fees could help their bottom line, but the overall shopping experience might feel a little less rewarding. Let's talk about how tweaks to rewards programs can actually impact you, whether you're grabbing groceries or racking up miles on flights. When companies adjust how points are earned or redeemed, it can make those perks feel more valuable, or sometimes a little less exciting. For everyday shoppers, this might mean you need to spend more to get the same discount, or maybe you'll see new types of rewards pop up. Frequent flyers could notice changes in how quickly they climb loyalty tiers, or how easy it is to score a free upgrade. In the end, these shifts can influence where you choose to shop or which airline you stick with, all based on how rewarding the experience feels. So, what would happen if credit card rewards and those sneaky interchange fees just vanished? In theory, retailers could save money because they wouldn't have to pay banks every time you swipe your card. That means, with lower costs, stores might be able to drop their prices a bit. But here's the catch. There's no guarantee those savings would actually make it to your wallet. Sometimes, businesses just keep the extra profit instead of passing it on. So while prices could fall, it really depends on how competitive the market is and how much pressure retailers feel to lower their prices. So, what happens if credit card rewards start disappearing? Well, those flashy sign-up bonuses and juicy cashback offers might become a thing of the past. Without rewards, credit cards could feel a lot less exciting. And travel hacking, where people rack up points for free flights and hotel stays, would get way harder. You might see fewer perks like airport lounge access or free checked bags, too. Basically, the whole game of maximizing your spending for extra benefits could change overnight. Let's take a quick trip to Australia and Europe to see what happened when they put the brakes on interchange fees. In Australia, slashing these fees meant banks had less money to fund flashy credit card rewards, so those perks started to shrink. Over in Europe, a similar story played out. Lower fees led to fewer rewards and sometimes even higher annual card fees. The big idea was to help merchants save money, but for everyday people, it often meant saying goodbye to those juicy points and cashback deals. It's a classic case of give and take. What helps one group might hit another in the wallet. Let's clear up some big misconceptions about credit card rewards. A lot of people think these rewards are just free money, but in reality, they're carefully designed to encourage more spending. Some folks believe you need to carry a balance to earn points, but that's not true. You can pay off your card in full and still rack up rewards. And while flashy sign-up bonuses seem like a great deal, they often come with minimum spending requirements that can tempt you to overspend. Understanding how these programs really work helps you make smarter choices and avoid falling into common traps. Getting the most out of rewards programs is all about smart habits. First, treat your credit card like cash. Only spend what you can pay off in full each month so you don't rack up interest. Focus on rewards that actually fit your lifestyle, like groceries or travel, instead of chasing flashy offers you don't need. Set a budget and track your spending, so you're not tempted to overspend just to earn points. Remember, rewards are a bonus, not a reason to buy more than you planned. If you're not into rewards cards or just want to dodge those sneaky fees, there are plenty of other ways to pay. Debit cards pull money straight from your bank account, so you're spending what you actually have. No interest, no surprises. Good old-fashioned cash is still king in a lot of places, and it keeps things simple. Plus, new payment tech like mobile wallets or peer-to-peer apps are making it easier than ever to pay without racking up extra charges. Each option has its own perks and trade-offs, so it's all about finding what works best for your wallet and your lifestyle. Ever wonder if you're actually paying for someone else's perks? It happens more often than you think. For example, in some gyms or subscription services, loyal customers end up covering the costs for those who only use the perks occasionally or sign up for special deals. The trick is to look out for bundled fees or hidden charges that don't match what you actually use. If you spot this, don't be afraid to ask for a breakdown of costs or switch to a plan that fits your real needs. Your wallet will thank you. So, what's next for the world of credit card rewards? Some experts think technology could shake things up, with new apps and digital wallets making it easier to compare or even bypass traditional rewards programs. On the flip side, governments might step in with new regulations to limit fees or crack down on aggressive marketing. And let's not forget consumers. If enough people change their spending habits or demand simpler options, banks might have to rethink their strategies. In the end, the reward cycle could break from any direction, but for now, it's still spinning strong. So what does all this behind-the-scenes action with credit card rewards actually mean for you? Simply put, those flashy points and cashback offers aren't just free money. They're part of a bigger system that affects prices, fees, and even how you spend. Knowing how these rewards work helps you make smarter choices, whether you're picking a new card or just trying to get the most out of your purchases. In a world where every dollar counts, understanding the real story behind credit card perks puts you one step ahead.